Mr. Ocampo, welcome on al-Arabiya, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ocampo, before you announce your decision on al-Arabiya to the Arab world, I need to ask you the following. It has been more than 3 years since the Palestinians have presented their request on the 21st of January 2009, asking you to investigate crimes, all crimes by Israel, by even Palestinians on the Palestinian territories, under Article 12 of Chapter 3 of the Rome Statute. Can you explain to our viewers why did it take you so long to reach a decision? We don't want to hear the decision yet, but can you tell us why so late?
It was a Palestinian call. It's a Palestinian call because when the Minister of Justice of Palestine came to my office, he explained to me how difficult it was for him and the governor of Palestine to come to my office because we're in the middle of investigating the crimes in Darfur. So it was complicated to get the support of the Arab League. And I told him, we understand how complicated is the world and how difficult it is for Palestine to come to the office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. However, I cannot promise success. I can promise respect for the law and impartiality, that's it. And there is a problem because in order to proceed, I need Palestine recognized as a state because I'm not the prosecutor of the world, I'm prosecutor of the countries who accept my jurisdiction. I need the country accepting me and then I investigate the crimes. And then I say, as you know, it's controversial. We need the General Assembly making decisions. So he told me, it's right, prosecutor, but let us brief you why we believe you should do it in any case. So basically the time we took was because Palestine was coming to my office, briefing us, and in fact the Arab League also produced a report on the crimes committed, but we were debating for the last 2 years this issue, so basically the timing was defined by Palestine, not by me.
Okay, can you inform our viewers now that we understand you reached a decision, and I don't know what the decision is, and even it hasn't been announced officially, but can you inform?
We informed officially just a few hours ago from The Hague. Basically, after listening to the arguments, I still consider that to be sure that we proceed, we need Palestine, or the General Assembly of the UN, accepting Palestine as an observer state. So as soon as it is done, we can proceed.
So what are you telling us now? That you cannot investigate, you have no jurisdiction to investigate in Palestine any crimes until the General Assembly of the United Nations accept Palestine or the Palestinian Authority as an observer state. Is that correct?
That is correct. Any state or Palestine itself can request to the General Assembly to recognize them as observer state. And in accordance with the treaty who created my court, that could be the condition that allow me to analyze the crimes committed in Palestine.
So in essence, you have declined to investigate.
No, in essence, I'm saying, in order to investigate the crimes, first, please go to the General Assembly and come back.
How did you arrive to this decision? Can you tell us the process?
Okay, basically, the process was listen to the Palestinian arguments. And in fact, they were very interesting arguments because it's a legal issue, but they were saying we have inherent jurisdiction in Palestine, we can prosecute people in Palestine, and it's not, we don't need, we understand you cannot, the prosecutor office cannot decide who's a state, who's not a state, because it's not my role, but it's the role for the General Assembly. But what they say, you don't need that because we have jurisdiction in Palestine, and therefore we can give you our jurisdiction to you. And what's an interesting point, the problem is Palestine has jurisdiction on Palestinians, but had no jurisdiction on Israelis, and they were, most of the crimes they were denouncing was against Israeli people. And then, in accordance with today, Palestine has no jurisdiction against Israeli people. That is clear. So that's the main problem. If you like me investigating allegations against Israeli, I cannot do it on the basis that you have criminal jurisdiction because you have not. So the normal way to do it is go to the General Assembly, be recognized as an observer state. It's different than being a member of the UN. That is Security Council. General Assembly of the UN can decide that you are observer state, and then you can come to the ICC. That is the rule because in the ICC system, that is the way to recognize a state.
So you're telling us also now that the Palestinians cannot apply for the membership of the ICC either.
No, they can. As soon if they get the observer state.
Before they get observer state.
Also, they can apply.
They can apply.
They can apply, but then the decision will be, the process will be, if they apply to be members of the ICC, they have to go to the Secretary General of the UN. And normally, according with the practice of the Secretary General, if it's controversial, as this case is, Secretary General probably will go to the General Assembly. And then will end, in this way also will end in the General Assembly. And General Assembly will make a decision, and then probably this will be the decision that allowing Palestine to become a state party of the Rome Statute, yes.
So what you're advising, or not advising, but the way forward for the Palestinian is to apply, if they want to apply for the ICC, they have to go to the Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon, and request to join the ICC. And because he cannot decide whether they are a state or not, he will refer this, as per the norms at the United Nations, to the General Assembly, and they will decide the matter. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm guessing that, because the Secretary General normally, when there is controversial, will send to the General Assembly. It's his decision, but that's probably what he will do, yes. The issue is, the situation Palestine-Israel is highly, as you know, is highly complicated. And I understand it's a long journey, but it's a journey that could be done. We need to use, I believe in using the law to manage to make a different approach to this conflict. We need a different approach. So I hope, but at the same time, if we use the law, I have to respect the law.
One last question, sir. The Palestinian sources, many Palestinian sources are telling us that the Palestinians at the highest level in Palestine have asked you to delay your decision until May. Why didn't you delay your decision until May? Especially that a decision has been taken by the leadership in Palestine to go to the General Assembly. They might even go to the General Assembly in May. Why didn't you wait?
But it's okay. If they go in May and the General Assembly accept them, it's perfect. It's okay. Do that. There's no problem, because the decision is not closing something. It's just saying, look, in order to keep proceeding, you should go to the General Assembly first. So if they do it in May, they come back, and then we start to analyze the crimes committed.
Then you will start investigating crimes?
We'll start to analyze the crimes committed to see if we can open the investigation. Yes, that is the process. The process is, if they go to the General Assembly, they get the state observers, then we can start to analyze the allegations of crimes committed in Palestine.
Mr. Ocampo, sir, thank you so much for this exclusive. Thank you, sir.